Yo, what is up everyone? Daimien Kamiya here, the Omni King. Welcome, friends, foes, members of the Omni Council, and I'm super sorry about delaying the stream by an hour. Something came up at work, and I ended up having to stick around a bit longer. I didn't really get home, like, literally when I made that message in chat at about 5:45, that's literally when I got home. I came in, fed the cats, and immediately came in here and typed that. So, like, I wanted to have a shower, and some other stuff, so I hope it's, understandable. I also want to mention about, because this did come up, I actually had Mario Bros comment on it on another video where yesterday's stream went. Because I tweeted this out, and I did mention it in the stream, but obviously with the stream privated, you can't tell now. My Tiny Tina Wonderland's third playthrough is being restarted. I think in the tweet I mentioned that I'm going to do Clawbringer, but I decided to just redo Spore Warden. So, I think I'm just gonna briefly go over my my classes. Mario Bros! Okay, you arrived just in time. I was just commenting about more in detail what happened with yesterday's stream. So I was saying that I got, you know, I am a very particular person when it comes to builds. And when a build starts to get confusing, I need to change it. However, Wonderlands doesn't allow you to do that. Whatever your primary class is, you cannot change that. And the secondary class, you can't change until you beat the game. So the build I was running was a companion-based build. The entire function around it was to utilize companions. However, I was getting, like, mixed opinions on what I was trying to do. The action skill wasn't really benefiting, and here's the thing. With Borderlands and the Borderlands franchise as a whole, to me, prioritizing something means to take the capstone. And for those that don't understand what the capstone is the final trait in a Borderlands skill tree. So, like, if I'm running a melee build in Borderlands 2, for example, I want the capstone. I need, Release the Beast, right? That's the epitome of the melee trait line, right? So I was looking at it, and I realized that the Spore Warden capstone really wasn't gonna benefit me with how I was building. So I thought, well, maybe Graveborn would. Well, I looked at Graveborn, and Graveborn's Graveborn's capstone was by casting a spell, you activate all action skills, or you activate all kill skills. So then I took a look at my not only did I realize that wouldn't be a valid switch, I looked at my Graveborn build, which was supposed to be Graveborn Stabbomancer, and I realized that Stabbomancer only has one kill skill, and it makes your next melee attack crit. Now, not really anything that great. So I had to redo the Graveborn build. And then, you know, upon realizing that, I wondered maybe if I should change my Clawbringer build. And then I had a Stabbomancer build that ended up getting changed as well. That was supposed to pair with... Clawbringer. So in the end, this is the new definitive classes I have for Borderlands. Nick, welcome! Good to see ya. So, I will be restarting Spore Warden. My Spore Warden new character is going to be subclass Berserker. It will be specializing in ability usage, specifically Blizzard, as well as Frost damage, utilizing the Frost damage bonuses provided by Berserker to empower Blizzard, as well as using ability bonuses from Spore Warden. And while those cyclones are going off, I will then just use regular gun damage. I can use a little bit of melee too, but it'll probably mostly be a gun-related build. Second up will be Stabbomancer. So Stabbomancer went to now having subclass Spore Warden. This class, previously Stablemancer was going to kind of be a trade build. It was going to use a little bit of melee, a little bit of gun. Now it's going to utilize all crit. It is a crit build through and through, mostly focusing on gun usage. It's basically going to kind of be like a Zane build in Borderlands 3. Yeah, I'll be playing it next week. I'd just be starting over a new character. Stablemancer, it's going to utilize basically movement speed and crit damage. Crits. And the cool thing about Stablemancer is, so the basic play is going to be focused off of gun, but because of the nature of some of the skills that Stablemancer has, and the fact that they do damage based off of the current melee weapon you have equipped, its damage value, I can literally equip the highest damaged melee weapon I can get my hands on and benefit from it without even having to hit the melee button. So that's kind of how I want to play, because that's how the capstone works, Executioner's Blade. Graveborn. So you're going to find a pattern with these remaining ones. So Graveborn's build got entirely changed. The primary focus of Graveborn was going to be dark magic. That really hasn't changed. But notifying what the capstone is, casting Moriam's Blessing, casting a spell automatically activates all Fate Maker's kill skills. Realizing that, I wanted it to pair with a class that had beneficial kill skills. Anytime I hit a spell, that's going to activate. So I wanted something. So I looked around, basically immediately negated some classes, and I decided on Berserker. So Graveborn actually has some aspects that are heavily based off of health and consumption of your health and stuff like that. Well, Berserker not only has a lot of traits that benefit in health regeneration, but also provides a trait where it basically cuts your shield in half, but your health gains 75% of your shield's capacity. So that's huge to me. Like, that's massive. And I can basically utilize Graveborn's primary abilities, like action skills, as well as use spells to trigger skill cooldowns and stuff. So it's going to kind of be a little bit of a spell action skill style playthrough, specializing in dark magic with an eensy-teensy bit of frost because of Berserker. And then finally, Clawbringer. In the end, Clawbringer didn't actually change from what it was, so it's going to be specializing with, you guessed it, Berserker. So out of the remaining 4 classes I have to run, 3 of them are subclass Berserker. And I just, I gave up on this idea of trying to split it around. I just want to have fun with these interesting styles. So Clawbringer didn't really change too much. It changed a wee bit. I nerfed the value of the pet to focus more on my own buffing. So basically, gun damage will do bonus fire, melee damage will do bonus shock, and when I enrage, both will also do bonus frost. So as long as my weapon is either dark magic, corrosive, or melee is fire, or gun is shock, I effectively can dish out 3 elemental statuses at once. And to me, that's insanely powerful. Right? Especially against various types of enemy resistances. So that is where that build is going to go. So sadly, I can't split them up because only one class isn't using Berserker. So I'm doing Spore Warden because I already have thumbnails for it. So I'm just going to reuse the same thumbnails I used. And then I'll probably do Stablemancer. And then I'll figure out whether I want to do Graveborn or Clawbringer next. But both Spore Warden and Clawbringer are not going to be back-to-back because they're effectively using Berserker for the same reason, which is Frost bonus. While Graveborn is indeed using it as a means of health regen. So yeah, so that's where I'm gonna be standing with the Wonderlands playthroughs. I will try to aim to have that day, that stream take place on a day where I don't have to wake up immediately the next day. So that can be a Monday or it'll probably be Monday or Friday at this rate. Because I talked with who's going to be the new manager of my store. And she prefers to work Saturdays. So that means I'm going to be off Saturdays. So I will now be streaming my full day on Saturday, and I will be working Sundays instead. So that means that Friday nights will now be my ability to, like, my Friday night will be when I stream slightly extended because I can sleep in Saturday morning. And that's how it's looking like, at least for next week. I don't know how it's going to go long term, but we will definitely see where it goes from here. So with that said, I've covered the basis of what's going on with Wonderlands, and I've covered a basis of what's going on IRL. So let us swing right on. And then after this, it's literally just going to be side quests and side quests and side quests until I get them all done. And then and I'll be going by region. So looking at the map, I'm going to do all the side quests in Dalentarth. Then I'll probably do all the side quests in Plains of Ethereal. And then I'll do all the side quests in Death Tier. Then I'll do all the side quests in Cluricon. And then I will do all the side quests in Alabastra. That's pretty much the order I'm going to go in. And then once all side quests are done, I will beat the game. Then I will do... there's 3 DLCs based off the maps you see in the corner. So that's Deadman Kell. Or Dead Kell. This one's Fate Sworn. The newest DLC. And this is Teeth of Naros. I've already entered Teeth of Naros because I needed it for something. I will be doing Fate Sworn first. Because it unlocks the strongest weapon type in the game. And while I can't blacksmith as natured by this challenge, this playthrough, what I can do is the game actually gives you a cop-out, is you can just straight up buy them. You can buy the weapons, they just won't be as good as the ones you craft. But they're still really good. Like, they're still awesome weapons. So I'm excited for that. You. Ow. Your claws are sharp. What do you want, Keith? Action Digimon movie or series? Like, what do you mean? You talking about games or movies? Oh, it's live action. Oh. I don't know, I could see it. Like, it took a while before Pokemon did something like Detective Pikachu. I could see it with Digimon. However, if they did it with Digimon, I would very much like it to be its own plot. I don't want it to be a hash-up of, like, Season 1 or something. Like, I want it to be its own plot. Its own Digidestin, you know, invent new Digimon if they want to, use pre-existing ones, I don't care. I just want, like, I'd want the movie, like, or if they did a series still, like, I'd want it to be brand new. I just feel like they'd probably do a movie over a series, personally. I don't know if the series has enough interest for them to put that kind of budget into like a television show. I didn't mind it. There were aspects of it that were really confusing, though. How you doing, Keith? Sorry, the game is paused due to kitty cat interference. Because he's a very loud and annoying cat if I don't accept his wails of attention. Yay! Look, you're not going outside. You're gonna have to wait until like 9 p.m. before you go outside, okay? That's when your dad gets home. Alright. Cat interference has left. Yeah, I also managed to pull my back at work today. Lifted some heavy boxes and pulled a muscle. Didn't help the fact that my leg is already still all screwy. So, leg's getting a bit better, though.
Over your trial of initiation. Traditionally, applicants have prepared for the challenges of this trial through years of study and training. But as Augur mentioned, we realize you are unique. Do you have any questions before we begin?
What can I expect?
The magic of the ritual confronts the applicant with his or her own potential. Consequently, no two experiences are the same. How this potential manifests varies. Whatever takes place is for the applicant only. Tradition dictates it is never spoken of. And a final warning. While whatever shape
Only gets two? Two what?
Real, not truly. What happens can have real consequences.
Oh, 2 days of no work?
Not underestimate the
Well, I'm the same. Like, I get 2 days off a week. It's weird when you look at my schedule. Like, you have to understand this. So, this was completely by accident. I didn't even think to do it when I asked the artist that made my schedule sheet. So when he made it, he started the calendar based off of Sunday. So it goes Sunday to Saturday. But my work schedule actually goes Monday to Sunday. So that's why sometimes it seems like I don't have 2 days off in a week, because I used to have Sundays off. Right? So sometimes it didn't look like like this week, for example, it doesn't look like I have a day off. It looks like I only have 1 day off because I worked yesterday. I'm off Wednesday, but because this Sunday doesn't appear on my schedule for VTubing, it won't appear in it doesn't seem like I have 2 days off. Oh, Digimon D&D? That would actually be very cool. Now, does that involve role-playing as the Digimon? Or is that role-playing as a human with a Digimon partner? And in which, do you control the partner, or do you not? Or are there additional factors? Like, there's actually a lot of questions I'd have about that concept.
This is a fluid magic. The form it takes varies according to the power and nature of the ritual's focus. In this case, you. The goal is a simple one. Survive. Like every Scholia Arcana member before you.
Oh, dear God, he has an overnight?
First confront the specter of your potential. And be aware that
Well, you guys live in Canada, right? Like, to mine, I don't know about how it is where you guys live, but where I am, like, you get a little bit of you get a bonus when you work overnight. So he's kind of like counting the money. And to be honest, work's work. Some people prefer to work nights just because they generally just don't like the day.
Don't pay any attention to my ramblings.
Some people are just more wired at night. Like, almost literally nocturnal. Okay. That's kind of interesting. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. So did you mean that he ends at 11 p.m.? Because you said 11 a.m. So does he actually work overnight, or does he just work, Or does he just work 2 to 11, like a 9-hour shift? I didn't even realize that, you know, that would actually be like 21-hour shift.
You seem to possess quite the capacity for violence. Intriguing.
I'm familiar with Superstore, though. My sister used to work for one. My sister had a lot more work experience than I did. I've had 3 official jobs and 1 unofficial job. Like, it wasn't on paper or whatever. A guy just paid me to on like cash when to help him out on the regular.
I do hope you survive the trial. We must discuss this further.
Okay. But my sister worked for Tim Hortons, she worked for Superstore, she worked for Starbucks. Then she worked for Starbucks again. She also worked at a church. No, she worked for Starbucks, worked at a church, then worked for Starbucks again, I believe. Now she's working, I believe, with the church again, but, like, in Paris. I actually plan, since my sister lives over there now, I actually plan to visit her at some point in time. I don't know when that'll ever happen. And last I heard, my sister's helping out with, like, the Ukrainian war. In some way, shape, or form. Like, not on the front lines or anything, obviously, but, like, just kind of volunteering. But when an opportunity arises, I would love to go over there and see her. And I also have a couple people I can meet that I met through VTubing. Morozo of Vtuber, he streams on Twitch. He's a good friend of mine, and he lives in France. I would love to be able to meet him IRL. And then my illustrator, Min Mama, she lives in France too. She's French. So I basically told her, I said, like, you know, if I ever come to France to visit my sister, I'm meeting you. And she's like, oh, you know, like, she was really hyped about that too. She's like, oh, I can't wait. You know, like, obviously it's not in the books. I don't know when it'll ever happen, but and if I did, I don't know if I'd be able to do much streaming during that time, but I might be able to do, like, chatting streams or, like, small game streams or whatever. And obviously, I'd love to, if Min would be okay with it, I'd love to stream with her. I'd just love to, like, even just have, like, a talking stream with her. And then even I'd love to have my sister on stream too, if that would be fine with her. And then obviously Morozo's a VTuber, so that would be a fun like off collab. An idea of roleplay as a Digimon going. Yeah, like that would be kind of an interesting one too. The thing is, though, that one. Here's the thing. This is where it gets kind of tricky, like, because, like, Digimon actually has franchises like Digimon World. You know, where you are the Digimon. Like, you're not a human controlling the Digimon. You are the Digimon. But then there's also, and Pokemon has the same thing. Pokemon, like, similar with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The thing is, in a Pokemon equivalency of that kind of D&D experience, you know, it has its things, but there's a sense of there's a linear aspect to it because Pokemon are very straightforward. If you're role-playing as Pikachu, you can evolve to Raichu, and that's pretty much all you got. You know, if you roleplay as a Charmander, you're gonna be Charmeleon, you're gonna be Charizard. That's all you got. And then Mega Charizards, I guess. However, with Digimon, you would probably have to clear-cut set in stone what your plans are for Digivolution, because almost literally anything can Digivolve into anything else. So, like, you could be Agumon, but with the nature of how Digimon works, Agumon could turn into, like, 13 different Digimon, right? And to allow for a more coherent storytelling and plot, I honestly think it would be fair for a DM to require you to lock in your Digivolutions, so as, like, you can't just keep trying to one-up the DM with a random Digivolution pick. Like, I don't know about you, but that would piss me the hell off. If I was DM, and it's like one battle he's turning into Greymon, and the next he's turning into Growlmon, and then the next he's turning into, you know, Geogreymon, and then, like, oh my god, I would beat the living daylights out of him.
Where am I? What is this place?
Why are you here?
I am the Dark Empyrean, and I will not be bound by you or those you serve. I could kill you now, but I have plans for those who watch from the shadows. Now be gone.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna disagree with you. That's true too, Nick. That, like that. But it would have to be some form of agreement you'd have with your DM. And it would have to be documented forms you're allowed to transform into. Right? Because, like, it would just get too wild. But, Mario Bros, I'm going to disagree with you on that for a couple reasons. Number one, when Digimon was dubbed, in all honesty, anime dubbing was still very new. Very new. Like, they did it before the 90s, don't get me wrong, but the popularity of it really, really did pick up in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, such as Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and Digimon. So the first seasons being bad is A, understandable, B, it had a lot of new voice actors, like a lot of voice actors that didn't really do much prior to Digimon. As if you've noticed, cartoon and anime voice actors generally don't mix. They're usually one or the other, right? So to do anime were basically new people. The guy that voiced Tai was not a professional voice actor. He was a magician and a hypnotist, right? Tai is pretty much one of his very few credits, along with some other miscellaneous Digimon he did in other seasons as well. Second, the early seasons of Digimon weren't done by, like, a company like Funimation or whatever that, you know, had a lot of control over, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, it was done by, I think Fox did the original Digimon. And I think Fox definitely tried their best with the circumstances at hand. Especially since, keep in mind, Digimon, to my knowledge, was the first anime Fox tried to dub. And I don't even know if Fox ever really did more. Well, Fox did Kirby. Kirby right back at ya, but yeah, like, Fox really wasn't in the dubbing business. It wasn't a thing Fox did. So, like, while I can understand why you'd think it's bad, and I could agree with you at moments, I think there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that play into why at least the early dubs of Digimon weren't great. You could also argue things like technical limitations. It could have been 4Kids. I just know it was Fox that bought the rights to it, because Fox played it on their Saturday morning. Fox was the reason Digimon came over to North America. It could have been 4Kids for all I know. I know 4Kids did Pokemon. But believe it or not, okay, so I'm going to look it up, but I don't think it was 4Kids. And I have a reason why I don't think it was. Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes like that. Even Pokemon made similar mistakes. But the reason why I don't think it was 4Kids. It was Discotech Media, I think, was licensed it. Yeah, it was Discotech Media that licensed it, but probably, I'm assuming they probably had subsidiaries with Fox, because I'm pretty sure Fox is the one that pushed to get Digimon. But, so yeah, so it was, but it, you know, the reason why I don't believe it was 4Kids was because of the nature of how 4Kids did dubbing. So first things first, 4Kids was 4Kids had more censorship than fucking China does. Holy hell. Like, in the first season of Pokemon, they tried to, when 4Kids dubbed Pokemon, especially in the earlier seasons, they tried to eliminate as much Japanese references to the show they possibly could. And there were episodes dedicated to Japanese holidays. So imagine trying to dub an episode and edit it and change it around when the episode itself is based off of a Japanese holiday. And the One Piece 4Kids, they censored that so much. Laboon wasn't even in it. They replaced Laboon with an iceberg. Dear God, could you imagine if they made it to Brook? The only good thing that came out of One Piece 4Kids... Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is another one. The only thing that came out of the 4Kids One Piece that people still hold dear was the One Piece rap. Oddly enough, people still love the One Piece rap. The theme song. That's like the only thing that they did right with One Piece. But like, they were so censor heavy, they didn't like, they really almost, I'm surprised, like, they bought the shows they did because it almost seemed like they were very anti-violence. But then they had Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Digimon. All shows that feature violence! They're all shows about monstrous creatures attacking each other while kids control them. That's literally all three shows. Well, no, sorry. Not One Piece, sorry. I think I was thinking something. Digimon and Pokemon are that. One Piece is all about violence though. Just not like it's just beating people up. Like, even technically, I think Funimation does censorship a bit too, but it's not that much. Like, they changed some stuff around. Like, I think there was like one scene where in the Japanese, Luffy's like almost covered head to toe in blood, and they when they censored it by just like removing the blood and replaced it with like a lot of like damage marks. Like, you could tell he was hurt, but like not that he was bleeding out.
A woman masked in shadow? I will need to consult my books. Perhaps later we can discuss the details. For now, we have dead to bury.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0? There was a Season 0?
For the formalities, you have proven yourself worthy in the trial of initiation. In the name of the Scholia Arcana, I hereby confer unto you the title of Neophyte. Welcome to the Order. Come speak to me when you're ready to be of use.
Zach, I'm trying to enjoy the food I ordered.
I am sending you to the ruin of Aod, to the element of fire thrives as though it has a life.
I could just imagine that. I'm Poe. I'm Lala. I'm Dipsy. I'm Beep Beep. Just Tinky Winky. Then Gypsy's like head icon would be sent. Gypsy's head icon would be like mosaic because it's just a stick. The baby would probably be censored because it's too happy.
Followers of Raycor dwell as for what may be good fortune.
I think I heard about that. My favorite thing, you can't find many clips of it anymore for obvious reasons, but yeah, the Sun Baby gets 0 screen time. But there was this clip I saw. It was Kaiba versus Yami Yugi in the stadium. They each had an Egyptian god card out. I think Yugi had Cypher, and Kaiba, I think he had the blue one. He had one of the other ones. And like the title of the clip someone made was like chat gets jebaited or something like that. And it's literally like Yugi tries to go for an attack, but Kaiba's like, but wait! And then he does something, and then before Kaiba can initiate it, Yugi goes, but wait! And it goes back and forth like that, like 8 times, and chat's just like spamming like the jebaited, or they're like, this is the 8th time! Like someone in chat's even like, whose turn is it? No, that was the actual series. Like, that's the actual show. Like, one thing, I never really watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be honest with that. I never really watched. I was always Pokemon and Digimon. That's the shows I liked. But at least I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! More than Dragon Ball, and I'll be honest with that as well. But the one thing I really liked was like, the one thing I did, like, there's the channel Dual Logs, right? And I really like his content, especially like his lists and stuff. And I liked some of the videos where he went over the differences between how cards behave in the anime and how they actually behave in the game, like in the actual TCG. And it's actually really interesting. Yeah, I did not like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball, like, here's the thing. To me, growing up in, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, Dragon Ball seemed very boring. And, like, so you gotta, like, to me, Dragon Ball, it was because of the nature of... Dragon Ball suffers the same thing that even One Piece still suffers from. It took too long to get through fights. And, like, every time I watched Dragon Ball, they were fighting. But they were fighting very slowly, and it seemed to always be in the same spot. It's like a goddamn Power Rangers team-up episode not being in, like, only ever being in a quarry. Like, my god. Like, it was the same scenery every time, different characters, same, like, basically same fighting. Oh my god, it was so boring. And I never got into it. To this day, like, Dragon Ball just doesn't interest me. I have a friend that's a really big Dragon Ball fan, so, like, he's kind of introduced some concepts of it to me. He never forced me to watch it or anything, but, like, we would discuss some of the characters and stuff like that. I also, like, look things up at times on, like, on wikis because, like, I read fan fiction and sometimes Dragon Ball elements would show up. Naruto, yeah. I enjoyed Naruto. Here's the thing, too. I don't really like fan service. That's reason really why I don't even watch animes. That's a reason why I don't watch anime. Other than, like, I just don't really care. Like, I enjoy watching YouTube and playing video games. I don't have time for anime in there. But there's, like, that's why I like Naruto and One Piece and Digimon and Pokemon. Because they don't, like, even, like, I can't say they don't have fan service, because technically One Piece does. Like, One Piece actually has a decent amount of it. But it's not crammed down your throat. Like, in a lot of cases, it's thrown in as jokes. Like Sanji being a pervert, or, you know, Brooke asking to see someone's panties. You know, they're all aspects of... Yeah, like, there are aspects of, like, Dragon Ball where it's like, if you told me Goku literally just simply spent 3 episodes going to go Super Saiyan, I'd fully believe you. Like, just 3 episodes of him just doing that. No fighting, no dodging, just the camera on him going I'd fully believe you. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like... So I was watching a clip. There was a clip, I think it was Fauna, Mume, Gura, and Crony. And, like, they were bringing up, like, I think Fauna was trying to troll everyone by talking about, like, the SpongeBob episode where he started morbing. And it's like, I saw a comment in chat that said, It's like despite the fact that Fauna was only joking, I'm like, you know, SpongeBob is one of those shows where I feel like you could literally tell me this happened on an episode of SpongeBob and I'd believe it. It's the same with like Simpsons, Family Guy. They're like shows that like, you know, have been around for so long that you know, they've probably almost done everything. Like, it's the same with like Arthur. Like I was a sad day when I heard Arthur was ending. Oh, Arthur was such a good show. Like, I can only imagine like how many like how many kid related topics they went over. And like how the show continued to adapt with time. Like, they had Mr. Ratburn get married to a man. Like, when the show Arthur began, they never would have considered that. Never would have considered that. You know, but then like 20 years later, like, that's what happened. Oh, you poor soul. Like, I guess the idea of the meeting is great, but to be perfectly honest, any Rangers fan will tell you that wasn't a particularly fantastic meetup, and any Turtles fan will tell you it never happened. Because that playoff, that crossover came from the Ninja Turtles series, I think it was Secret of the Ooze. And among Turtle fans, that is a forgotten franchise on purpose. No one liked that series. No one liked it. The puppets were the suits were awful. The inclusion of the female turtle was done poorly. Like, I heard in one of the newer series, I don't know if maybe it's just comic only or what, but they introduced another female turtle, and she was raised differently than the turtles. So her so while she does side with the turtles and work with them and stuff, her morals are different, because she was basically trained as an assassin. So she's trained to kill. You know, she's not trained with honor, she's trained to finish the target. Or at least I think, I could be misinterpreting this. I'm basing it off what my roommate told me, and he's a huge Ninja Turtles fan. Yeah, the Turtles versus Batman was great. I saw that one. Oh, that was actually fantastic. Yeah. I would probably say I'm more of a Ranger fan than a Turtles fan, but I do enjoy Ninja Turtles. My roommate's a huge Ninja Turtles fan. Like, he reads he pays attention to the comics. He watched the 80s cartoon. He knows about Secret of the Ooze. He loved you know, he's watched all the movies. You know, he loved the 2003 series, you know, the newer ones. He says he doesn't like the newest Turtle series, which is what the newest one is called, like Out of the Shadows or something. That's the thing. The thing is, I'm not a fan of sub content per se, like a long form sub content. I'd like to and at the very least though, can we at least achievement? Can we at least come to an understanding that at least when it came to creating Power Rangers, they actually created their own thing instead of literally just like copying and dubbing the Sentai? Like, it would have been so easy for them to just literally reshoot the same scenes in the Sentai, more or less, and then like, it would have been super easy for them to just reshoot the same scenes, but they actually decided to make their own plot out of it. At the very least, I want to give them credit for that. And Power Rangers also had a really bad history. It got, like, with Sentai, it was, like, it had some pretty deep pockets in Japan. You know, it's gone on for a long time, and it's always been owned by the same person, studio, whatever. Power Rangers got shuffled around like you wouldn't believe. A game of shuffleboard has less shuffling than Power Rangers had to go through. The Party Rock Anthem had less shuffling than Power Rangers did. Like, they started with Saban, then they got bought by, and then they went to Disney, and then Disney fucking hated owning it. I don't know why. Like, Power Rangers is like the best children's moneymaker. Disney could have made money and beyond with Power Rangers. And then Disney finally got rid of it, and it went to Neo Saban, and now Hasbro owns it. And Hasbro's gonna make all the money that Disney never could bother with. Yeah, but why not? Again, they made their own thing. Look at Lightspeed Rescue. Lightspeed Rescue had a Titanium Ranger. The Sentai didn't have one. That was the first time they ever implemented a Ranger that wasn't in the Sentai. And I don't even know if they've ever done it since or not. And it really put this season to its limits, because they basically had to keep coming up with excuses as to why Ryan couldn't be in the shots, in the scenes, because it required filming entirely new scenes to include him. And I think Ninja Storm was the first season to ever show Power Rangers unmorphed in a Zord. They actually had to, like, recreate the interior of the Zord cockpit to have them in there. And like, I believe in Ninja Storm as well, the Green Ranger in Ninja Storm never demorphed. The entire gimmick behind, or no, maybe he did, but he didn't have a consistent form. The entire idea was that he was a faceless individual. But in Ninja Storm, he's a Samurai Ranger in a team of ninjas. I sadly still have yet to watch that movie, but I heard it was good. Yeah, but here, like, people are gonna have those kind of opinions, and, you know, I don't really mind. Like, a lot of people, when it came to, like, the Michael Bay live-action Ninja Turtles, people complained to hell and back about how the Turtles looked. And I'm just like, they're giant mutant turtles. What do you expect them to look like when it's an IRL movie? Like, what are you expecting here? You expecting 3D model versions of the 80s cartoon in IRL? They look perfectly fine. But no, they look ugly. They look disgusting. They look fine. They're real-life mutant turtles. What are you expecting? They're mutant turtles. They're not winning beauty pageants. Sorry, I'm very heated about this topic.
You would come. There was a time when kings begged me to read their fortunes. The woman whose body I'm wearing shares the sentiment. I've crafted what I needed. Now burn!
Like, my biggest complaint with that movie wasn't the turtles. It was the fact that Megan Fox sucked as April. Megan Fox was the worst April I had ever seen. She had no emotion. She was just generally awful in the role. She killed it. Like, and I don't mean like killed it as in did awesome. I mean killed it as in like she actually killed the mood and atmosphere of every scene she was in. I think the turtles looked fine. They were casted great. Megan Fox was the worst part of that movie. 100%. And that's weird, too, because, like, while I don't think Megan Fox was fantastic, in Transformers, I didn't think Megan Fox was bad. I thought she fit the role of the character that she was. She was fine in the scene she was in. But when it came to Ninja Turtles, she was just a very bad April. Like, just very bad. She was not good for that role at all.
The architect readied himself. He construed the goods of earth and sky as tools, and weighted plans of origins, built two-piece planks for wood and stone. He began creating. Waters trickled through the She, and life sprung from the ground. The wolf and its antelope, the bear and its fish, all the work of the architect.
Sorry.
Yes, welcome. It was Nuala Ignis who stirred the magics of Aod. At least now we may restore the balance of the ruin before the rest of Dalentarth is engulfed in flames. What is this? You caught her crafting this, you say? Remarkable. Just utterly remarkable. That might explain her behavior. Breaching the seals of Aod should have been far beyond her capacity. Not to mention whatever this is, I have never seen the like. It is as if the element of fire were given physical form. You have done well. I have another assignment for you when you are ready. In the meantime, I shall be studying this sunstone.
Look, just be careful. You have the power of a blossom, of a sunflora. Maybe not some... Sunflora doesn't evolve with sunstone. What am I thinking? Or does it? No, I don't think it does. I was always a Mikey fan. Favorite Ranger? I was generally a fan of the 6th Ranger, but in my favorite Ranger of all time though is it's a tie between the Titanium Ranger of Lightspeed Rescue and the the Green Samurai Ranger of Ninja Storm.
Yes, neophyte. May I help? Adept Fell recently began and I want you to go. Do not keep your contact with him.
I just like with the that live action Power Ranger movie how things went full circle with Bryan Cranston. Where in like the original, he voiced some of the villains, and then in the sequel, and then in the live action movie, he you know, he voiced Zordon. Best Red Ranger. That's a really good question. What's Gokai's English equivalent? I don't know the Japanese Sentai names very well.
Pyroclastic resonance, body temperatures still well above ambient, and freshly broken earth. Ah, forgive my manners. You were sent to meet a contact, and here I am, Jubal Calidus, Arch-Sage of the Scholia Arcana. If you would be so kind as to ready your weapons, I believe we are about to be attacked. You will be in my thoughts.
Oh, Super Mega Force? Yeah, I haven't seen Super Mega Force. But I heard all of Mega Force was awful. Like, they did a really bad job with Mega Force. Talking about Red Rangers.
That was bracing, wasn't it? Ethan did not exaggerate your prowess, but it was a pity what happened to this caravan. I followed the trail from Melaglir in the hope that they carried a letter from the missing Adept Fell, and indeed I was correct.
Probably say
This should go to
Carter
The
Grayson
message names the light
from Lightspeed Rescue.
Continue onward then to Melaglir.
Because the thing was, in Lightspeed Rescue, all the Rangers were people that already had experience in fields that they were assisting in. So one wasn't like like an adventurist, like she would go out and do rock climbing and stuff and all that kind of stuff. One was a pilot, like a pilot. One was and he worked in like air shows and stuff. One was like a marine expert and did a lot of swimming and scubaing and stuff. And One was a nurse, and then Carter Grayson was a firefighter. So like he already knew the aspects of what leadership was. He knew where his limits were. He knew, you know, to respect the team and all that sort of stuff. Like Carter, I feel like, was the epitome of like it's weird though, because I would say by the end a lot of Red Rangers would be like, if you're counting at the end of the series, you could have like half a dozen to a dozen of Red Rangers that were fantastic. But I think like if we count from beginning to end, I would have to say Carter. The most I've seen of Megaforce was Linkara's review of it. And even he said it was awful. He almost like went into a rage at one point during it. During the review.
The Lord of Tides, the thrice-crowned king, the banded prince of Melaglir. He forged from blood a sword of sin to cut and rend and sear. From hardened hearts his people wept, tears to flood from stone unbroken, the long-forgotten truth unspoken.
Yeah. And the thing was, what made Megaforce worse was that it was the anniversary series. If Megaforce was literally kind of like its own standalone, like most of the Ranger seasons were, I don't think Megaforce would have been universally hated as much as it was. But the fact that it was an anniversary of the franchise, it was like what, Power Rangers 20th anniversary? Like, that was just, it was a spit in the face to the fans and the franchise. Even Samurai wasn't that bad, and Samurai had several faults as well. But hey, we have an actor that played a Power Ranger, played a villain, and will never play anything else on the franchise ever again. He's the only Power Ranger that will ever hold that record. The only cast member that will ever hold that record.
Hail, Wanderer.
I am Eli. I need you to next obtain the farewell. On a dark, something about you. I am Patrick Morcan. How may I be of a particularly belligerent master?
I watched up to RPM, and then I think I saw Samurai. I did see Samurai, but RPM is where I think where the good stopped. Samurai was it was okay.
Don't be a stranger.
I heard a lot of people saying Ninja Steel was awful, but from Linkara's review, it looked really good. Or at least looked okay. It didn't look bad by any means. Dino Charge looked pretty awesome. Hey, Bookworm. Yeah, I might check that out. The cool thing about comics is you don't have the same limitations that like that you have with shows. It's like why Iron Man in the comics is way stronger than Iron Man in the MCU, because Robert Downey Jr. can only show, like, it can only do so much with Robert Downey Jr. Stupid Kobolds. I will say, though, I'm not much of a reader, so... Comics, manga, none of that stuff. Books. You're watching me skip dialogue in this game. The nanosuit? Didn't he make the nanosuit in the during Infinity Wars? I'm pretty sure he was wearing that when he fought Thanos. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like 99% sure he had a nanomite suit in the what was it? Was Infinity Wars first? I haven't seen all of MCU. Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know a whole lot about the heroes, but I think conceptually my favorite DC hero is Green Lantern, and my favorite Marvel hero is Ghost Rider. Those are all some good heroes. Iron Man is also kind of interesting too because, like, the creation of Iron Man was literally a bet made with Stan Lee. That Stan Lee created Iron Man / Tony Stark through a dare to try and make a hero that the fans would hate. Like, literally try to make a hero that the fans would really dislike. So he created Tony Stark and Iron Man, but it backfired because the fans really loved him. Really loved that that character. One second. My cousin's two favorites are Flash and Captain America. And he actually, like, reads the comics and stuff. I don't particularly know what his reasons are per se for why he loves those two so much, but he really loves them both. What's going on with Urza? Or Ezra? Oh, by the way, while I was like messing around with some stuff, I was going through some of my my streams, and I found out that pretty like any Borderlands stream I had that had copyrighted music in it got claimed. So like that's the finale of of all the Wonderland streams I've done. The intros of both 2 and pre-sequel. They both got claimed. I managed to kind of fix 2 of them, and in the future I might run my BGM alongside the intros. Because I do plan to do Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 3 at some point.
What's the Engar doing sending a neophyte to rescue me? Doesn't he understand what's going on here? There is a necromancer in Mel Aglia.
Oh, really? Not gonna lie, I thought Ezra was the character, like the unmasked character. I didn't realize that was the actor.
Look around you. Patrick Morkin's wife may have died from natural causes, but nothing natural brought her back. I know because I've been watching her walking corpse feast on prisoners for over a week. She and her husband are nearby. If you strike quickly, you can catch them by surprise and end this horror. As threatening as his dead wife may seem, kill the sorcerer first. She's just I'll see to getting out of this.
So I now have access to every single potion recipe in the game because I technically have max good. Yeah, it can have a little bit of that feel.
Fine. I'll admit it. I tried to bring her back.
It was made by a company that went bankrupt trying to make it.
Have you never been in love? I'll say one thing. Your timing is impeccable. I think she's hungry, and you'll make quite the feast. Don't be a stranger. No! I'll make you pay for that, you monster!
Time to die. Reckoning mode! Okay, she disappeared. How many have I played? Cyber Sleuth. There was a phone app I kind of enjoyed before they got rid of it. I forgot what it was called. It was Digimon Links or something. Rumble Arena 2. Technically, I did play Digimon World 4. Digimon All-Star Rumble. I believe it what it's called. And then there was I think that was pretty much it.
Hail, Wanderer.
After all this, I'm grateful to be alive and uneaten. It was lucky that you showed up when you did. I must say, I'm impressed, neophyte. Few of your rank would be able to handle a necromancer of Morkan's power. I will remain behind, attend to the village. You should report to Savant Engar as quickly as you can.
Maybe. Depends on what the card is. The card's some no-name rookie? Absolutely not. If the card's a Gallant Mon Crimson mode, yes.
Another Varani.
I own trading cards, but I never figured out how to play the game.
Go along, neophyte. Don't keep...
Good evening.
The mage who hesitates is lost. You must be confident. You must strike. Welcome. Please join us. You'll have to venture out now that I think of it. Like I said, it's dangerous things.
Just started the card game. The old one always confused me because it was like the square, circle, triangle attacks, and I never really understood how they worked.
Well, farewell.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes? So, a necromancer was behind Melaglir's disappearing villagers. Disturbing. My suspicions regarding your potential were well founded. You are forthwith promoted to the rank of docent. As a docent, your first order of business is to the west, to speak with a man named Anchor Edmure. Oh, goodbye then. My favorite. He often sends reports of mystical occurrences that usually turn out to be exaggerated tales of inebriated fever dreams. His latest cry for help, however, may hold some truth. Go to Emer, speak to the man, and find out what he means by Shardfall has come alive. Be well.
New Digimon pet? Like, you mean like Tamagotchi or what?
The watch sees all in
It's a nightmare, it is.
Okay.
Welcome to Rathir, man.
So much.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
Come on.
Yes.
Watch yourself.
Battery died a long time ago, and it was never replaced. Yeah, 'tis the nature of a Tamagotchi.
You're with the Scholia Arcana. I know what I wrote was vague. At Shard, the place all many days past, my assistant, Donald Cutty, delved into the cave to collect samples. He never returned. I tried to find my assistant, but I failed. The code of the cave is... That's why I've been devising a talisman to stay warm. If you're willing to aid me, perhaps we can solve this mystery.
Tell me what you have in
However, I failed
mind.
to make it deeper into Shardfall than just a few steps. I put up a barrier. No need to have some poor fool stumble in there by mistake. The barrier will let you through if you have an amulet that can keep you warm. Like one made from a Barghest's heart. A Paragon Barghest, that'll do just fine. I've heard of one ranging north of Emer. If you can kill it, fetch me its heart, and I will be able to complete my pendant. I need the heart of a kill one. Harvest it later then.
No, you don't see me.
Any progress yet?
Oh wow, that's a lot of money.
Later then.
Sorry, I'm slightly dozing off here. I'm trying to not. Alamon or Megadramon? Probably Megadramon. Or Megidramon, sorry. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm just kind of thinking on this, so since I'm starting over Digimon, I think it's going to be fair, or not Digimon, sorry, Wonderlands. I'm starting over Wonderlands. I will dedicate Sunday to Wonderlands to help make up for the fact that, you know, I lost all that progress. Right, just to be fair to the fact that I lost, like, I'm restarting all my progress. So next week, GTA will get, we'll still be on the other day off, but the one day will be moved to the day that normally would have, that would normally have, that, or I might run 2 Wonderlands next week just to make up for things. We'll see. But I'm actually really excited about the new build. The companion damage idea could have worked, but I hate Digimon that have inconsistent names. such as Diaboromon's champion form. In Cyber Sleuth, he's Korisarimon, but in like other ones, he's like Crystallidmon or something like that. Ice Leomon's another one. In Cyber Sleuth, he's called by his Japanese name, which is like I forget, but in the English one, his name is Ice Leomon. Oh, great. Or what I might even do is, I close tomorrow, so I don't know, we'll see. I was thinking of, you know, like if I complete this Mage quest line here, I could end and then start up Wonderlands and get a little bit of progress made in the game. Because I do feel a little bit unfair that Wonderlands is getting shafted because I'm restarting it. So I do want, or no. Yeah, the thing was, I can at least understand the Omnimon mistake. So when Omnimon came out, he was like the ultimate Digimon. Right? Like he was, like that's what he was kind of considered. He was considered to be the, like, the supreme Digimon, the supreme good guy. He was like the strongest good guy Digimon. There was no other concept for Digimon at the time, potentially speaking, outside of Omnimon.
Give me a moment. There.
So
You're better suited to later then.
So they when they translated him over, they called him Omnimon. Then Digimon ended up creating Alphamon, which basically destroyed the idea because both Omnimon and Alphamon are supposed to be Omnimon and Omegamon, the Omni and the Omega. Together, they're supposed to be very powerful. Yeah, so I think I'll just blitz through this, and then, depending on where time stands, I might start just get maybe a few hours into Wonderlands. I should easily be done this before 10, so I can quickly start up another stream. I don't have to wake up early tomorrow, so it's entirely doable. So you want to know my actual, like, maybe one day I'll share some of this kind of information. So I actually have an Excel sheet that contains a lot of the information in regards to my lore. And some of the information is just kind of like, oops, fun little information. Where did they filter? This. One of them is Digimon, which is basically what Digimon would I have, what Digimon would my partner have, or what Digimon would Adira have, and what Digimon would the other members of the Omni Kingdom have. So one gimmick that I did was that each member has 2 Digimon. So my Digimon would be Agumon and Dorumon. And on top of, and then Adira's would be Vmon and Dracomon. And the nature of them is that a circumstance happens that ends up with their Digimon absorbing the digital core. So Agumon absorbs Gabumon's digital, or Awaregarurumon's digital core. Vmon absorbs Stingmon's digital core. Dracomon absorbs Wingdramon's digital core, and Dorumon absorbs Ryudamon's digital core. And then through that, they have the ability to digivolve to Omnimon, Alphamon or Ryukin, Imperial Dramon, and Examon without the need of actual DNA digivolving. And then they can DNA biomerge, so to speak. So my ultimate Digimon would be King Omnimon, and then Adira's, I believe, is Imperial Examon, because she's the dragon. So the dragon takes precedence. If you could pull a Willis though and have 2 Digimon as Digimon partners, what would you have? You like Mario Bros. You have Guilmon. Who is your second? Here, Nick, do you want to hear my... I think I've talked to Mario Bros about this. Do you want to hear my theory about how Diaboromon wasn't evil? That'd be kind of cool. I think it would be cool for you to have Impmon and Guilmon. That'd kind of be a cool combo. I could imagine them DNA digivolving, and you'd have like you would have like the joust, you would have the shield, and then the other hand would basically be the jousting rod, but in the form of Beelzemon's like blaster gun from like blaster mode. So yeah, so my theory now, to understand my Diaboromon theory, is very much based off of Diaboromon's appearance in the English version of the Digimon movie. That needs to be understood more than anything. So my opinion is, so in the movie they talk about how Diaboromon got infected by a virus. I believe that. But I do not believe a virus had anything to do with it being Diaboromon. Because under no circumstances in the show has it shown that viruses can infect and mutate Digimon into, like, complete, like, basically control their evolutionary line. Especially when, like, maybe it has. Okay, I don't want to say that. I might just not have seen it. But I will say that Willis didn't know what Digimon he was getting. He just made a Digi-Egg. Here's the thing. This is Diaboromon's entire digital evolutionary line is based off of internet bugs. But it doesn't necessarily mean he has to be a virus. Diaboromon's not even a virus Digimon if you go by Cyber Sleuth. It's a free Digimon. So, but in nature, it's not evil. And if you go by Cyber Sleuth, no Digimon is technically evil. Any Digimon has the ability to be good, as well as any Digimon can be evil. So, here's the thing. So, this is my opinion. So, the Digi-Egg that Willis created was always going to be Keramon and Diaboromon. It was always going to be that. Because it was created on the internet, it took upon properties of the internet. Right? Which is what Diaboromon's line is based off of. However, it did get infected by a virus. And within the nature of the Digimon, so the virus was controlling some things it was trying to do. However, Keramon, Infamon, Diaboromon, whatever, was trying to find Willis in hopes that Willis could save it. This is my theory. This is where my theory kicks off. Was trying to get to Willis in the hopes that Willis could save it. However, the virus was trying to impede that. The virus was acting in ways to fight off Izzy, Ty, Matt, and TK, who were fighting it to try and stop it, as well as like when it launched the nuclear missiles, that was the virus trying to impede on Infamon finding Willis to save it. Because we've seen the power of Digivices. Remember, 8 Digivices managed to stop Apoclamon's attack from destroying 2 dimensions. I'm pretty sure it would be able to purify it. It would be able to purify a stupid virus. Like, even though, like, they didn't do that in the third act of the movie, I still believe it probably could have. But yeah, so I believe that Diaboromon was just trying to find Willis in the hopes that Willis could save it. I don't believe Diaboromon was ever evil. I also don't believe it was going to ever be anything but a Diaboromon. If you've noticed, Digimon, I believe he might have been too, yeah. If you noticed, in the movie, and in many cases as well, Digimon are not native to the internet. Even in Cyber Sleuth, they mention that in Digimon showing up in Eden, like, they're not native to Eden. They don't just formed in Eden. They came from the digital world, right? Digimon are not native to the internet. And especially in the anime, there are not Digimon on the internet. Remember, they fought in the internet. the only Digimon that ever appeared in the internet were Patamon, Tentomon, Agumon, and Gabumon, who were sent there by Genai, and then Diaboromon. Those are the only Digimon that were ever on the internet. Digimon are not native there. Right? So it would also make sense as to why Inframon was lost and trying, like, calling phone numbers and stuff, trying to find where Willis was. It didn't know where to go. I honestly think Diaboromon was the Diaboromon, Inframon, whatever, was scared and confused. And you know, because of the virus and stuff, and was hoping Willis would be able to help. And that's why when the sequel comes up, Return of Diaboromon, or no, like, you have the third arc, which is the virus hunting. Inframon almost got, or Diaboromon almost found Willis. And you know, remember, when Omnimon kills Diaboromon, when Omnimon kills Diaboromon, the last thing Diaboromon says, Willis. Right? Like, that was his last thought, was Willis. But because he almost found Willis, the virus was able to locate Willis and pay him back for destroying its host, which was Diaboromon. So it took over Lockmon instead. And then when they destroyed that, the virus went back to the internet, found the base data of Diaboromon, and basically reassembled it in the form of a host. In which it used to reproduce Kuramon to form Armageddonmon in real life. But yeah, I 100% am in the boat that Diaboromon was not a villain. Diaboromon was just as much a victim as anyone else. The virus was the villain, not Diaboromon. But that's my theory as to that Diaboromon was not the villain of the movie. Okay. It is a sad theory, don't get me wrong, but I truly believe that, Diaboromon was trying to find help, and it believed Willis could help it. It wasn't something I actually thought of until probably more recently, like the past couple months or so. But I started thinking more into the character of Diaboromon, and some fan fictions kind of helped me figure that out too. And I'm like, and to be perfectly honest, if my theory is correct, Willis is actually the first known Digidestined to permanently lose his Digimon, not Jerry of Season 3. Though Digimon Try mentions that it's actually the principal, the girl, whatever, who lost Tapirmon, because it sacrificed itself to power up the attacks of the Digimon that were turned into the Sovereign. But, either way, I like that theory. I like the idea that Diaboromon was just as much a victim as anyone else. Because, Diaboromon are shown in Season 3 not being villains. Right? There's a bunch of the Kurisarimon that Beelzemon, basically attacks, and then, after everything that happens, they basically eat the data off of him, and he turns back into Impmon. And then after they release Calamon's Digivolution power, they merge and combine into 3 Diaboromon. Right? And those Diaboromon aren't evil. They actually help. They help the Sovereign. So I believe the real villain of that movie was the virus. And the thing is, I think it's believable too, because when the virus infected a Digimon, so a digital virus is just like a virus is just a virus. It's not something that thinks on its own, right? Like, it's something a human has to program. But the idea that a virus infected a Digimon, which allowed the virus to gain a sense of sentience, right? Because it linked to the program that it latched onto. So it gained sentience and basically was almost kind of like a brainwashing idea. Like a brainwashing type thing, and controlled Inframon to do things. And Diaboromon, like... You'll also notice that in the movie, Diaboromon never really attacked first. Terramon only attacked after it was attacked first. And then as Inframon, it only attacked after being attacked first, and then it fled when it believed the fight was over. Exactly. And then Diaboromon only ended up attacking first when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon came in. After, you know, the whole blue screen of death scenario. But you could argue that Diaboromon was waiting for them because, like, at this point it knew they would come back. And, like, after being assaulted by these Digimon twice already, it would probably, like, it's kind of like the idea. It's like, if I punch you once, you know, you might defend yourself. If I try a second time, you are going to try and defend yourself. But you're not, after that, you're probably not going to give me a third chance to punch you, and you'll just punch me first. Right? Like, I've already shown you, I have a track record of attempting to hurt you. So your reaction is probably to hurt me first in some way, shape, or form, so I can't hurt you. Right?
Almost enough to make you the woman perhaps I flattered.
Like, Diaboromon has shown to not have the power of cloning. That was clearly the virus that made it capable of doing that. The same as, like, while I do believe Diaboromon would be capable of some things like hacking into the Pentagon, I don't believe Diaboromon, like, if Diaboromon was searching for Willis, why would it launch nuclear missiles, one of which was to land in Colorado where Willis lived? If it was trying to find Willis, why would it try to kill him before it could even get there?
One day, perhaps I'll do just that. For now, though, I must conclude our dialogue. My time is...
But I wouldn't really say that's shown in the show, though, that all virus Digimon can replicate themselves. Like, viruses may be able to replicate, but I wouldn't say that virus Digimon can. Like, biologically, yes, viruses could replicate. But I think, like, digitally, viruses usually need to be copied. Like, anything digital can't just replicate itself unless it's programmed to do so. But yeah, like, why would Diaboromon launch a nuclear missile at Colorado where Willis lived if it was trying to find Willis? Right? So I believe, like, Diaboromon was trying to get to Willis in hopes that Willis could save him, and that Diaboromon only made it, but the virus was trying to stop Diaboromon because it wanted the host. It also helps that I do really enjoy Diaboromon. It is one of my favorite, like, easily one of my top 5 Digimon. And, like, when you look at, like, well, obviously it's probably not true. Like, the show plays Diaboromon off as a villain. I personally like to believe that, I'd like to sometimes think that Diaboromon could actually not be a villain. Like, I feel like my arguments are...
I'll be here.
Well, yeah, but that's the virus infecting Kokomon. It's not Diaboromon infecting Kokomon. I believe that when Tai and Matt, when Omnimon destroyed Diaboromon, it didn't destroy the virus, it just destroyed Diaboromon. So it didn't actually get rid... It only destroyed the host. The virus just went elsewhere. Because remember, when Magnamon and Rapidmon, when Vmon and Terriermon Golden Armor energized to Rapidmon and Magnamon, they had to be swallowed by Cherubimon to destroy the virus. If you specifically remember, they had that, was it Lupinmon? Was pointing like, destroy the virus. Don't destroy Cherubimon. Destroy the virus. Destroy me. I'm a representation of the virus. Destroy me. And they even point that. He's like, destroy the virus, right? And then they destroy the virus directly. Omnimon didn't destroy the virus. It destroyed Diaboromon. But Magnamon and Rapidmon managed to successfully destroy the virus, not Cherubimon. However, because of all the damage that Cherubimon had taken during the conflict, it had to basically, it basically had to reform into a Digi-Egg. It had exhausted itself.
Pleasant evening.
Do not miss Leogryph's many marvels.
Again, this is all just a theory I self-crafted in my head. I've not seen anyone else mention it, but... And in my own way, it's just me trying to justify that Diaboromon isn't a bad Digimon, because, like I said, I really enjoy Diaboromon. But, like, I feel like in some ways you could justify that Diaboromon wasn't evil, that the Digimon could very well have always planned to be Diaboromon. It just got infected by a virus on the internet, which caused it to act in ways it normally wouldn't, leaving it with conflicting goals of trying to find Willis to be saved, but also trying to kill Willis to stop him, while also trying to stop Tai, Matt, TK, and Izzy from defeating him. So the virus could continue its plot, whatever its plot may be. Didn't really seem like Diaboromon really had a goal outside of destroying Willis. Or finding Willis / destroying Willis.
Meet him atop the mountain of Skycrown to the south. I have no idea why, but the note will... Good luck!
And then when you get to Act 3, where Lupinmon... I believe it's Lupinmon. Let me actually look that up. Oh, come on. This Kokomon digivolves into Lopmon. And it's Wendigomon, sorry. Not Lupinmon, Wendigomon. Hell, I feel like my theory has more story to it than the movie did. Because, again, that was another another thing about the movie, and that was something that happened with the English dub. Yeah, more or less. The thing is, though, Black War Greymon wasn't evil either, but he wasn't infected by a virus. Black War Greymon was just confused. He didn't know what its purpose was. He didn't know why he existed. Right? He just thought all he could do was fight. Right? So, Kokomon gets hit with the virus that Diaboromon was infected with. You know, warps him into Wendigomon, which is actually the corrupted champion form of Lopmon, because Lopmon actually has a different champion form.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Right, and then Magnamon and Rapidmon managed to successfully destroy the virus. I could make a theory channel, but I feel like I wouldn't regularly come out with enough theories to do anything about it. It'd probably just be something I could maybe, interestingly enough, I could maybe do as like a thing for this channel. Like it would just be like a type of segment.
It's safe from here to Rathir.
The only thing that... So, like, what I was saying, though, is... So, it's quite easy to tell, but in the Japanese version of the Digimon movie, none of the arcs connected. They were 3 separate stories put in the form of a movie. And they reference different things, and you can see those references even in the English anime. The first segment, where it's Greymon versus Parrotmon, is mentioned in the first season, where they show an overview of what happened, and you're just physically seeing the actual events that happened. Well, with the second season was mentioned by Izzy, or the second arc, the Omnimon Diaboromon, was mentioned by Izzy when Paildramon first, when Stingmon and XVmon first digivolved to Paildramon. They mentioned that DNA digivolution had occurred before, and they show Omnimon. And then in the third arc, Izzy mentions, it's like, I learned about this from my friend Willis. Hey, maybe you'll meet him one day. And like, it was a literal throwaway line. But they met Willis in the third arc. There's a lot of continuity issues with that third arc, though. Like, there's a very specific timeline of when that movie had to have taken place in the Adventures 2 season. Because Ken's not in the group, but Davis knows enough about, knows about the Golden Armor Digi-Egg, so they had to have at least defeated Ken. None of them have ranked champion Digivolutions yet. You can presume that Armadillomon and Hawkmon own both their Digi-Eggs, even though they only used one of them. Then somehow TK and Kairi both Digivolve to Mega when they're not even supposed to Digivolve to Ultimate. Gee, I wonder, it's almost like there was a plot point where a Zulongmon mentioned that the Digidestined had to give up their crests to save the digital world, which prevented them to Digivolve to Ultimate. But what's Anjouamon what's Anjouamon and, you know, Magnadramon and Seraphimon, 2 Digimon that have never, that TK and Kari have never had Patamon and Gatomon ever Digivolve to, ever. But whoops, they can do it now. And you know what? Coincidentally, they just so happen to be the guardians of these golden Digi-Eggs. Would you know that? Well, isn't that a lucky break? Especially that second golden Digi-Egg. That golden Digi-Egg of Destiny that we never heard of nor ever knew existed just so happens to be guarded by Magnadramon, Gatomon's Mega. And the Digi-Egg of Miracles, which was only previously found to power Ken's Digimon Emperorship, just so happens to also be guarded by Seraphimon? No way! What are the odds? It's almost like no one decided to come up with a decent plot and ham-fisted continuity excuses straight into the movie. I think the second arc is between seasons 1 and 2, yes. See that, Mario Bros, we're gonna have a problem here. Nick, we need your opinion on this. So, Mario Bros believes fusion is the worst thing to ever happen to Digimon. And I am of the opinion that Angela Anaconda is the worst thing that ever happened to Digimon. Where do you weigh in on this? You still, if you're still here, Nick, anyway. Thank you. He also, Mario Bros also says he hated the Digi-Rap. I love the Digi-Rap. It may be stupid and corny, but I still love the Digi-Rap. There's worse things out there than the Digi-Rap. Yeah, not, like, the rap's an acquired taste. I just kind of liked it. You can tell the rap was very much a product of the time. Where, like, everything was trying to ham-fist, like, some form of rap into things. Because rap was cool. Even Disney did it. Disney did it for fucking everything. See, I still disagree with you on that. The Digi-Rap at least had a good beat to it. Angela Anaconda just haunts your nightmares. Ooh, a level up. Sweet. Yeah. I'd be a little bit cheesed on that. Hmm. Well, that's what I was saying. The Digimon movie was a mess. I didn't actually finish what I was saying, did I? So in the Japanese, they had planned the movie to be three different segments, covering 3 different aspects briefly touched upon in the anime. However, when Fox was making the movie, they didn't like that the movie wasn't connected. So that's why Willis is talked about so often in the movie. Willis obviously has no connection to the first one. Kyrie just kept bringing him up. And Willis actually had no connection to the Diaboromon plot at all. Willis had no connection to it. Willis only appeared in the 3rd arc. That was it. He had in the Japanese, he had no opinion. He had no connection nor appearance in the 2nd arc, in the Diaboromon arc. Diaboromon just appeared on the internet in the Japanese. Willis was ham-fisted into every arc just so it seemed like it was a coherent story and technically involving Willis in every arc. And they did it poorly. Well, at least for the 1st arc. I could totally believe that Diaboromon was involved in, Willis and Diaboromon were involved together. Imperial Dramon returns? I don't know. I like when Diaboromon returns. I sadly haven't seen that one. I know it's season 3, I believe, right? I've not seen most of the Digimon movies, to be honest. Only movies I've seen are Digimon the first movie, Diaboromon Returns, and Last Kizuna. And I have my opinions of Last Kizuna. I have some very negative opinions about Last Kizuna. Foiled again. Parried 100 times. Yeah, I could see your idea on that. I liked season 4 is my favorite season. But that's mostly because I'm a huge fan of Power Rangers and Digimon, and season 4 is literally Power Rangers Digimon. No. Last Kazuna at least does have parts that make sense, even as annoying as it is. I just think the story could have been better. Angela Anaconda had no business being associated with Digimon. It was literally only there for Fox to try to promote a different show within a popular within a popular franchise at the time. There was no other reason for Angela Anaconda to be there. I didn't even really like the show in and of itself. And then they had to hash it into the front of the Digimon movie. Had no reason to be there. Even like the Digi-Rap, as much as people have mixed opinions on it, wasn't wrongly placed. It was a remix of the original theme song, and the remix was done in the style of rap. But it wasn't out of place with where it was. Hell, if anything, the Digi-Rap was the most in-context song in that entire movie. Or was Bare Naked Ladies 1 week more contextually relevant than the Digi-Rap in a Digimon movie? Yeah, and apparently from what I understood, it actually made a lot of parents mad. They thought they walked into the wrong movie. You wouldn't hear complaints like that until I think it was Cars 3. Forget which movie it was that had the 20-minute Frozen short in front of it. That angered a lot of parents because they thought that they did not buy tickets to see Frozen. Like, if you're gonna have a 20-minute short, it's not a short anymore. That's called a TV episode. Angela Anaconda was literally a poor man's South Park. Literally what it was. It was literally South Park, but did nothing that made South Park great.
They call it. Like stars, this place is a convergence of one such pattern. A focus of the energy. At first, I thought I could. Her power is. She made me wait until you arrived. Now run. Run!
And the sad thing is, like, if you watch the Nostalgia Critics review on the Digimon movie, they actually review the Angela Anaconda part because it is technically officially a part of the movie. It's not even like, it wasn't a short that would later become a DVD extra. No, it's in the front part of every copy of the movie. It will play before it will play in the order of Angela Anaconda, Greymon versus Parrotmon, Theoboromon versus Omnimon, and then the Willis segment. It will always play in that order. So as much as, like, people hate the segment, don't like it, like, by reviewers, it's actually considered a part of the film. Which, like, because of just how you would classify a part of the film. Pretty much. I think that's an excellent example. That's the thing, though, Nick. I don't think they would have done that. The only way they would have done that is before it hit theaters. And the thing is, I also believe that they were pressured into doing it. And the best way to pressure anyone into doing it is one of two ways. One, airtime. B, money. Fox probably literally said, push this. If you do an Angela Anaconda segment, we'll give you something. Like, give you more money, give you a better airtime, or give you more airtime, renew you for another season, right? Like, Fox most likely probably bribed them to fulfill the role, or to do that. So they wouldn't have been able to edit out, because they got paid probably, likelihood is they got paid a decent chunk of money to do that. Sort of like an advertisement. I think maybe for the DVD, they probably should have edited it out and made it a bonus feature, like in the special features. But I don't think they would have cared enough to do that. Yeah, it didn't. But they were still probably paid a lot of money to do it. Oh god, yes. Let's talk about that now. So, Nick, me and Mario Bros have an agreement on how awful of a character Sora is. Because in Season 1, she had excellent character development. Season 2 continued to show that degree of character development. Then Try comes out, and it makes Sora do some questionable things, but in the end she comes together. Then Last Kazuna comes out, and it's literally Sora not giving a fuck. It is literally Sora. They cut to Sora so many goddamn times with Biyomon saying, I want to help, and Sora saying, no, we're not helping, I don't want to fight anymore. They literally destroyed Sora's character. Just destroyed it. Awful. Any character development they built up for her in the franchise was ruined in Last Kazuna. That's one of the issues I have with that movie. And it's like, she can sit in her room and do sweet FA. Well, Tai and Agumon are, Tai and Matt are the ones. Like, so like, Sora's literally sitting in her room, refusing to let Biyomon do anything. But it's Tai and Matt that are losing their Digimon? I'm a little confused if the writers understood the plot they were writing. Here's my plot change for Digimon Last Kazuna. So in Last Kazuna, it had that villain that lost her Digimon because of potential. Basically, she lost her Digimon because her potential grew, and she lost it. I forget what the original Digimon's name was. I think it was Morphemon, whatever. However, in my idea for plot, I didn't like that either. You're correct, Nick. That was kind of awful. My idea instead was that girl wanted to study the link between Digimon and Digidestin, and in the process accidentally destroyed her bond with Morphemon, causing it to vanish. And then it delves into the plot, but when she recreates her Digimon as Erosmon, she instead seeks to destroy the bond between Digidestin and Digimon for all Digidestin. And she ends up hitting Tai and Matt with whatever effect that she discovered that puts them on a timer. Or maybe, no, she hits, let's say, all 8 original Digidestin. And then they all get a Bond of Crest type Digivolution, not just Tai and Matt. I would have loved to see all of them have that type of Digivolution. So it's literally them trying to save the world and, or save all personally, I feel like it would have put the idea of the Digidestin around the world fighting in a greater context.
From flame and frost and storm I take my form. I am the now die.
Oh wow, he has a white name. Oh god. Scaling did you dirty on this one, buddy. Like, is it any wonder that... So, Digimon Adventure 1, 2, and Tri all had the same, like, lead director. I forget what the particular role was, but all had the same higher-up official guy. when Last Kazuna was being produced, that guy walked off the set. He left the movie. So that should give you some perspective as to they were doing something wrong. Like, I don't know. If I saw the guy that was in charge of this entire series walk because of how unhappy he was with the movie's progression and development, I'd probably think something was wrong.
Would look down on any new great house.
Welcome.
I'm actually almost done here.
There, you're good. You're back. He request. Hello.
To be perfectly honest, though, I kind of agree with that. Like, I honestly feel like Joe, like, now, keep in mind, in the 99 series, Joe was kind of a scared, like, he was very nervous, very anxiety-driven. But the thing is, Joe's the oldest, and he possesses the crest of reliability. In a lot of cases, even kids will generally look towards the oldest for guidance. Joe was the oldest of the group. So it does make sense that he would be the leader, at least for a time. You know, he's the most responsible. He's the eldest. People are going to look to him for guidance.
Greeting at last, a creature that has stalked the mind. I am not. She is just. You must thwart her plan.
I was always the powerhouse, though. Like, even in the original, Tai was the powerhouse. It fits within the crest of courage. That was kind of cool. I also kind of like how they balanced out TK and Kairi. So, originally, you know, Kairi's was Magna Dramon and TK's was Seraphimon. But then they gave Kairi access to Ophanimon and also gave, Goldramon to TK? I just like the idea that Omnimon can now dual wield. Can either like dual swords or dual guns. Like that the two Omnimons have a connection. Wait, Agumon digivolves into Machine Dramon? Oh, almost. Was it a form of corrupted Digivolution, I guess? Sort of like the Skull Greymon moment in season 1. I see.
You are too late, child. I have seen all that I need to. All you. There are the sacral. You will know my fury!
Oh, that was easy. Didn't actually expect them to die. I don't know, like, the Machine Dramon concept is kind of cool. Especially, like, fans of the original will know what Machine Dramon means. But at the same time, I feel like Skull Greymon was a very iconic moment in the season 1. Like, it was, I think, in all honesty, within Digimon design, Skull Greymon was literally the perfect thing they could have done. There was no more way that they could have shown a corrupted Digivolution than Skull Greymon. Like, there was, like, Skull Greymon's design under the circumstances literally was a literal "this isn't supposed to happen" moment. And they ended up calling upon it later, too, when Ken tried to corrupt tried to force Agumon to Digivolve with the black rings. Realizing that the black ring didn't give him the power he wanted, and he ended up creating the black spiral.
I see that my attempt. There are. Perhaps you would like to know his feelings. I don't think, but no. Now.
Yeah, Skull Greymon is a classic. I feel like I kind of like the idea that almost every season had that corrupted Digivolution. I kind of wish season 2 had one. I don't think season 2 had a corrupted form. In all honesty, I think it would have been perfect for Ken. Yeah, like, you're saying Vmon, I honestly think it should have been Ken. I think just, like, this idea that, you know, Ken second guesses himself and Wormmon ends up digivolving in a corrupted manner. Or, you know what they could have done? Ken and or Davis end up having, like, a conflicting opinion when they try to DNA to Pyildramon, and they get Dino Beamon. I think that would have been cool. Skull Garurumon. Yeah. There are a few Skull Digimon that do look cool. Like, I know there's a Skull Mammothmon, which is pretty cool. I don't know, though. I think, though, if they were to do a corrupted Garurumon, I would go a different route. I'd probably go with something that looks more feral. I think a bone, like a skeleton looks good for a dinosaur because it kind of, in a way, references the, you know, the fact that dinosaurs are extinct. It's basically a possessed fossil, almost. I think Garurumon would have been cool if it was like, a, like, feral Garurumon or something like that. And it, like, it kind of looked almost, in a way, like, it looked almost like a Garurumon version of, like, Mad Leomon. It's not, yeah, wild Garurumon could work, but it could almost have, like, you know, where it's like a lot of the features are kind of like overgrown, and it looks almost like to the point that it's, you know, like on the edge of madness and rage and like just a feral mindset.
I can impart to you an indomitable resolve. For my indifference, I can craft a fearless impartiality. The choice is yours.
One sec, I just gotta look this up. This one's not as cut and dry as the other ones are, so I keep forgetting which, because I want the damage one. I want fearlessness. So the other one is elemental resistance.
A quality you certainly do not.
Oh yeah, true. That could work too.
Now, are you prepared to leave? Good.
I don't know if you were here, Nick. I was talking to Mario Bros about this idea. It's like, you know, in season 4, all of the Digimon are basically like spiritual reincarnations of the 10 legendary warriors, which are like, you know, ancient Murmamon, ancient Troamon, ancient Wisemon, ancient Garurumon, ancient Greymon. I like to believe this idea that there was like ancient Garurumon and ancient Greymon could DNA, and there was at some point an ancient Omnimon.
Greetings.
I am sure you have questions, and I shall know adept. Now prepare yourself.
Yeah, I remember that.
The time for suffering the predation.
I wouldn't say Black Garurumon. The thing is
and though trapped, she has proven formidable.
Primal Omnimon. That could be an interesting name too. I don't know if I would go with Primal though. I'd probably just stick with Ancient, because like Primal makes it sound like it's a bit like out of control. But I wouldn't. But the thing was, Mario Bros, with that scene, it showed that Gabumon was a true friend to Matt. That no matter what path Matt took, Gabumon would be his friend and ally throughout the whole decision. Gabumon would not turn away to Matt. So that act of true friendship caused it to, yeah, I could believe more medieval Omnimon. That'd be kind of cool. Like, yeah, so the idea of digivolving into metal Garurumon was because Gabumon and Matt was touched by Gabumon's true act of friendship, regardless of whatever lies he was being told, regardless of whether he was about to go fight Tai. You know, like,
It is risky. We will finish the plan. We will use these keys. The brilliant that went good luck.
the fact was there was no twisted form of friendship there. It was legitimate, honest-to-God, true friendship in that moment between Gabumon and Matt.
I can feel the harmonies of the spell glyph unraveling. Why does she not believe us? No. Be ready. It's
Puppetmon was indeed annoying.
For so long.
As a no, and Metal Seedramon, as cool as he was, he really wasn't. I feel like he got the short end of the stick. Piedmon was fantastic, though.
So much. How eager you. Very well.
Yeah, Puppetmon did kind of get the raw end of the stick there.
You have done what no... After your trial of initiation, the Scholia Arcana owes you everything.
And there's that quest line. Oh yeah, I can't fast travel here. Giga Seedramon is really cool. And then there's also Chaos Dramon is pretty cool. He's like a more higher tech version of Machine Dramon. There's a Chaos Piedmon as well. So I did just beat this storyline now. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna end the stream now, and then I'm gonna quickly make a new one so that we can do so that I can do get Wonderland started for my Spore Warden again. All right. So this stream will end. Just hold out for my channel to catch the next one. All right, sound good? So be right back, guys. Promise.